I'd like to follow that thought. And if I could go to you, I'm interested in the fact that Circle of Women specifically says that it will work on problems and solutions identified by communities. And you work with local change makers, right? Our mutual friend, Dr. Kekenya Antaya, is one such change maker. And I wonder if you can talk about why you do it that way and why it's important to get these local solutions for girls' education.
Thanks, Pamela. Yes, we launched out of the gate with this as one of our core values. So I think one way I can talk about it is probably everybody who registered here tonight, or for the most part, not that I want to put words and thoughts in people's mouth, but I suspect you're here tonight because you perhaps learned about girls being sold for cows into marriage, or female genital mutilation, or wife inheritance, or as Cheryl was saying, the endemic issue of teacher gender-based violence in schools, et cetera, et cetera. And maybe it just evoked, like, you were appalled. You couldn't believe that this was going on, and that these issues are so persistent and affecting so many millions of girls worldwide. And that's why you're here tonight. You're engaging in this issue. The same is true for many people within these communities that are practicing what somebody phrased it this way to me once, and from the community, and I've really held on to it as a way to talk about it, as one of their destructive cultural traditions. And it might be tribal based, it just might be tradition, it might be religious based, but they are the more destructive ones in their community. These same communities can have these amazing cultural traditions, of which I wish we had some, here in our country, right? So, but there are people within these communities, at the very local level or nationally, who also believe that these are human rights abuses in its most fundamental sense, that this is gender-based violence and it is just immoral and it's wrong, that these are traditions that are holding back communities and keeping them in poverty and holding back their countries. So these are what I would refer to as the local change agents, the local advocates. And you couple that with their inherent knowledge of this culture and their communities, and having relationships already, right? So that maybe is the third leg of the stool. And they have ideas on what are the best ways forward under their set of circumstances. And they understand it in a way that I could never, ever pretend to understand, because these communities, just like our own, are complex. And for an outsider, perhaps in some ways mysterious, and takes a long time to understand. What these change agents, so they may recognize a problem and understand how it's not only damaging that individual, but how it's damaging their community and perhaps nation. They have an idea on how to move forward. They already have relationships and perhaps already have some community support. What they often lack, though, are access to resources. Frankly, no money, no mission. Be it a program or a school or something, it always takes resources. Almost always takes resources. There is a financial component to this to help us make these visions come true. And they may need support in some kind of technical capacity as well. And so it's that divide that we try to bridge by listening and responding to the community identified needs. Is there where we can play to bring those needed resources, be it human capital, social capital, financial capital, to help that local vision come true. And the new generation coming up are truly remarkable. And I think we're seeing a positive feedback loop. Cheryl, I bet you're seeing graduates now, if you've had 8 years of graduates from Wadsworth, that are really becoming change agents in their own right and taking up the cause. So that's why that's a core principle
Mhm.
with us, is to, I'm using the word allyship more, that has really come up in the past year of being an ally. And that's, I might more often say partner, but the word ally, there's something about it that just even takes it to the next level, that's really resonating with us. So that, if you have any follow-up questions, but in
No,
a
that's great. I've
summary.
got hours of follow-up questions because it's so interesting, but our time is actually ticking away quite quickly. Thank you for that.